Hold your horses, Bocce. I'm coming on. No, I can't. I don't like to eat on stream. I have this thing about eating on stream. I wish I could be like him though. I just be wolfing my food down on stream. Oh, let me turn this awful music off. Bocce's all hat and no cattle. You do have no shame, Ken. We all need to be more like Ken. Okay, let me get another drink. You're not gonna get pumped up for this. Gotta get it woke up. By the way, have y'all tried this? Look at this. Strawberry and cream Dr. Pepper. It's actually pretty good. Anyway. Welcome everybody to another Small Engines Saturday. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this out. Let's make this one of the best Small Engines live streams on YouTube. Welcome everybody. Woo! Oh no, Ken, come on. Too early. You don't have a hat either? Well, Bocce, we need to get you a hat so you can be all hat, no cattle. Or in this case, all hat, no horse. It's actually very good, Bocce. I like it. It's time for the captain. Captain time. So anyway. Oh, y'all got me cracking up already. So anyway, me and 9 minutes late, we went to Target's. I went to Wendy's, and then I got home. My dog was out. He escaped from his pen again. That darn lug nut. Anyway, I don't know. Oh, I started doing those shorts things. Everybody's talking about shorts, growing your channel. So I did shorts. I did shorts today. I didn't do shorts wearing shorts, but I should have. I think that would have went a million views instantly. Shorts wearing shorts. And I should have did that, guys. Remind me next time. So Dave, I go either way. Sometimes it's pop. Sometimes it's soda. Sometimes it's soda pop. Sometimes it's soda water. It feels like I'm going to say it for that day. But, anyway, I did shorts. Not wearing shorts, but maybe there's always tomorrow, guys. There's always tomorrow. And, let's look what we got. We got, wrong camera. Focus, darn you. We got 2K on one. We got 1.5K on the other. We got 268 on one. I did 4 videos today. And we grew I'm at 1.88. So we might, if I keep doing shorts like this all week, we might hit 1,900 subscribers this week. And how awesome would that be after 6 years of doing this? And 3 or 4 years of coming on here every Saturday entertaining y'all. I think it's been 3 or 4 years now. It's been a while. So I'm going to keep pumping them out, like Ken says. Maybe tomorrow with shorts. You never know. And so we are going to talk about, Rel said this was a good idea, topic for the night. We're going to talk about repairs not worth doing. Because I was talking about, one of my first shorts this morning was how 90% of shops, including myself, don't do crankshaft straightening because of liability issues. It's just something you shouldn't do. So that's one of the topics we're going to talk about here tonight. Well, Dave, since I moved here, I ain't got a lot of repairs in yet. I got repairs. Yeah, liability. Don't get sued. Don't kill nobody. Sell them a new engine. You're right there, Dave. I was actually into someone's comment earlier that said, "Well, most shops won't even mess with any of them with a messed up crankshaft in the first place." And because you can replace the crankshaft, and I was like, "Yeah, but you get those one stubborn old man that's had a lawnmower since the '80s, and he wants that motor on that unit fixed." It's a good time to watch shorts. Watching shorts on the toilet is the best time to watch shorts. I agree. So I've been posting since Thursday. Today, so I've been posting about 3 to 4 videos, shorts a day. I got some plans on doing some long format videos this week. What are you looking at, dog? Oh, I clipped my tongue, didn't I? Sorry, Rose. You don't want a French fry. Rose, you want a French fry? Rose, you want a French fry? Rose wants a French fry. Ow. That was my finger. So I'm planning on doing some of that this week too. So I'm gonna put the link out here in a minute. Go-kart video coming out soon. Go-kart video coming out soon. I'm gonna start working on it. More videos for the Power Sports channel, Gears and Wheels. Just a bunch of different things. So yeah, see, so it would be on the older machines like Adam's talking about, and you want a French fry, Mugster? Hold on, Mugster. Open your mouth. Here's the French fry. Rose. With the machinery you have, most small engine shops don't have that kind of machinery, and it wouldn't be worth it for them to have that kind of machinery in the shop anyway. It'd be cheaper to sell them a new engine or a new crankshaft. And that's another thing I mentioned in my short is people think shops are doing it to sell them some kind of expensive part, and really, if you step back and you look at the markup on the parts, there's not a large markup like Briggs & Stratton parts. There's not a large markup, so it's not about money on that end. But people are going to think that way, trying to say you're going to sell them a new. And honestly, like Dave was talking, a new engine is actually. That's very true, Dave. A new engine for a push mower is actually extremely cheap. What's up, Jude? It's actually extremely cheap. You could get a motor for under $200 for some units. I mean, most push mowers is probably not even worth $200, but you do got some commercial units that might be worth putting that kind of money into. But yeah. I contacted Jude earlier. I was like, how many shorts should I put out? How can I put them back to back like instantly, or do I have to spread them out? And obviously, I rode a wave there for like a couple hours, where every video I hit was instantly 1,000. But then after that couple hours, After that couple hours, it was like the videos like post it. Yeah, that is getting extremely expensive. You're right there, Dave. That's why I'm thinking about getting back into buying used mowers and selling them because with the market the way it was, at one time it wasn't worth hardly doing it anymore. But you can't even get a push mower these days. Oh, Ken loves Jude. Get a room, you two. Oh, um, but yeah, you can't even $200. You can't really even get a new push mower really anymore. Not like you used to be able to get a cheap one for $100. You can't even do that anymore. Those days are gone, and probably are never coming back. So it's getting back to being good at it's getting back to where it's worth even fixing push mowers. I used to only do fix up. What's up, Terry? I used to only do like riding mowers. I used to do push mowers when I started out. That's how I got into small engine repair. I was 16, I think, and I started buying push mowers and stuff. I fixed them. I would fix them. I would sell them, and then I went to riding mowers, and then it went to repairing other people's stuff, and then it went so on and so forth. And then it's how it just got bigger and bigger. And now we do a lot more power sports. I do a lot. I don't know why we say it's had to say we when there's only a me, but I do a lot of power sports stuff this day and bigger engines. So yeah, so it's worth it's worth getting back into the market to buy and sell mowers again. But here's another thing: people are also having a higher price on broken mowers. I used to be able to get a broken riding mower for under $100 and fix it. Now people are wanting $200 to $300 for a broken riding mower, and it's just that's a little steep for buying anything broken. Yeah, Mudster. It's the folks in our brains. Rail has a push mower with a bent crankshaft to sell me. So yeah, let's put the link down. I talked long enough, and y'all know the rules, guys. You know the rules. So I don't know how everybody else goes about it, but I take the value of the machine and the value of the repair. If the repair value is more than the machine, then I usually try to pass on them. If the customer still wants to do it, oh Lord, Derek, do not. We don't want to see that one. We don't want to see that one. So if the value of the repair is more, if the repair bill is more than the value of the machine, I like to try to push them off and tell the customer. But sometimes customers still want to fix it, and there's at a point where you got to charge like at least half up front on stuff like that. Um, Cause sometimes with those jobs where the repair bill is higher than the machine's value, sometimes you'll get it done and they might not come and pick it up. So that's where I'm at on it. Yeah, right there. Bocce, he'll show you in a private chat. He'll slide into your DMs and show you. What's up? Oh wait, I got this. Because Ed messed this up on a stream the other day, and I was like, man, Ed, how could you mess this up after all these years? It's, hey, everybody, it's Eddie Tech Guy. In today's video, what if we just start a stream off like that? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Broken. What's up, Rusty Rooster? It's Adam. Hey, it's not a stream without you on the panel. Ken said earlier he might try to join us earlier, but he was still feeling bad. Well, Ed, I think it's wrong when you don't do it. I'm so used to hearing you say it. I like things this. I don't like change. Okay, maybe it's my brain. But I don't like change. So yeah, Rel actually come up with this discussion earlier or on that video that what we should discuss when not to repair something. And I thought, yeah, that's a pretty good topic.
You get a lot of the repairs where they say, just do the bare minimum you need to do to get it going.
Yep. There's at some point you get some of these repairs that you're like, I love to stand behind my work. I'm a man of my word. I love to stand behind my work. I'll fix something if I mess it up. But sometimes when you get those people like that, it's hard to stand behind the work you did when they're just wanting that bare minimum stuff. And they want to come back and they want you to fix the full problem for free.
And it's hard with you work with a lot of farmers like I do. Something will break down like halfway through plowing a field, and they'll say, I just need it to get me through this field and stuff like that.
Yeah, let's face it, we've all seen some farmer welds to get by on. What's up, Mike Hodge? Yeah, it is mainly liability. There's a lot of stuff it's liability issues. And especially this day and age, you just have to watch your back with everything you do in life anymore. But yeah, I've had people like that. I've had the old guys that the machine is from the 80s. They've had it since the 80s new, and they just want it fixed no matter the cost. They don't care. They'll pay whatever the cost is. They just want it fixed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Ken. So I used to not do that when I started out. But I don't have all my repair sheets in here. I do write down every single little repair I do. Also, the reason I started doing that is I was underbilling myself, and when I write it down, I found out that I ain't underbilling myself if I write it down and break it down to what each job I did. Because I was bad for underbilling myself. I would do a $150 job for $60.
Yeah.
I was bad for that. And then you have the customers that you can fix the problem right. They'll take it home and do something stupid to mess it up. Like put old gas back in there that you told them not to put back in there.
Oh, yeah. Or they'll smoke a belt on a deck and then they'll go back and get back to mowing the 6-inch tall wet grass and smoke another belt.
The only thing is, One thing I can say though, I've had a few bad customers over the years, but I've had mostly good customers. So out of those few bad apples, I've had some. I've had some really, really good customers that stayed with me. The ones I kind of missed. I actually went and saw one last week who was pretty much with me since the beginning of this small engine repair journey. He gave me a go kart. Oh, definitely, Dave. This actually brings back. Um, Robert Waters is never here when we need him. He's such a busy man. Robert Waters was talking about, and he stopped doing chainsaws because of this. Someone bypassed a chain brake on their chainsaw, took it into them. They saw that it wasn't they saw that it was bypassed and turned down the repair. But the people still took it home and hurt themselves, and then tried to sue him or something like that. They won in court, but like Robert Waters says, winning in court or not, that's time out of the shop. That's costing money.
Yeah.
Like Hodge is always. Well, I've never been to that one, Ken, but I had a guy load up his mower one day. It was this Puerto Rican guy. He didn't know very much English, so I had to have my brother-in-law talk to him for that. He didn't know a lot of English. It was a very broken one. He didn't know. Anyway, he loaded the mower up. He must have never had a riding mower before. He slammed it to the back of his truck, and the wheels were just spinning. He didn't know how to stop the mower. He slammed hard into the back of the truck. And since that day, I actually started loading. I don't know if everybody does this, but I actually started loading all my customers' equipment up. I leave it up to them to strap it down, but I load their equipment up for them so they don't do something stupid like that.
I have a form when because sometimes the stuff that comes in here is pretty heavy.
Yeah.
That if a little form I had made up that they have to sign that if I unload something from their trailer or load it, I'm not liable for any damage that's done to it.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier now that I got the forklift. And with the gantry cranes, it's pretty, easy, but
I want a forklift. I'm tired of lifting heavy crap.
Thank you, Mike. I actually have a glass boot that holds 3 beers. I've been training like an Olympian to slam that in one go. Just for you, Mike.
You know what? You know what, Dave? I think you mentioned this before that it's actually better for them to load on a whole liability thing. You know what, Jude? I think that's my next big business. I'm gonna fix mowers up and I'm gonna smuggle them into California. You got those drug smugglers. Here I come with lawnmowers. They'll probably give me a harsher jail sentence in California for smuggling in power tools or lawnmower tools than that they would drug charges.
You sell them in the alleys and stuff.
Yeah.
You like the merchandise?
I got what you need. Come back here and check it out. There's dumb people everywhere, Ken. It happens. It happens. We actually took a mower and a 4-wheeler down to Killeen. Well, I didn't. My brother-in-law did, and they was both broken. And he made about $600 taking them back from Northeast Texas, where things are a little cheaper, back down to Central Texas. What's up, Daryl? Probably Bocce. So this is another good thing. This is something else. This is something I've been letting my nephew do, and I told him I'll split the money with him. But my nephew is parting out mower parts. Some of these engines that are bad, I'm letting him part them out, and he's putting the good parts on eBay. So I'm letting him do that now. It makes him a little bit of money. It makes me a little bit of money, and makes a little bit more than going to the scrapyard. But Ken, I knew a guy. This was heartbreaking. How many of y'all know what a wheel horse RJ is?
Mm-mm.
It's a little garden tractor with a round hood. It's a very awesome tractor, and it's not the cheapest, easiest tractor to find. This guy took a perfectly restored one, parted it out to put the parts on eBay. I don't think I could have the heart for it. I know he probably made 10 times more doing that, but my heart, I don't think my heart can handle that. I just don't think my heart can handle that one. I always wanted an RJ. So there is people. Honestly, my nephew, he's got that Yamaha Timberwolf that the rear end went out on. We got it. He got it in here, and the rear end went out on it, and things got to sell. I honestly think he's going to make more money if he took and parted it out and sold the parts on eBay than he would trying to fix it and then try to sell it, because a older go or an older 4 wheeler like that he might get $1,200 for, even when he completely redone does everything. And then buy Cobalt Tool Skin. You know, me and Bocce's been talking about GoFundMe. We all got some cool GoFundMe's we're gonna plan on. Bocce's Bocce's doing one to get more yarn to feed her addiction. I mean, I need one to buy stuff. See, my college, it's the same problem I'm having. That's why we're having to go to GoFundMe and other resources, because OnlyFans is just not picking up. I started a website called Only Tortoises. It's live stream of tortoises eating every day. So far, Bocce's the only one that watches it.
All of your turtles eating?
Yeah. Every morning I do a live stream, and it's the tortoises eating their food.
Oh, I didn't know that was yours. I noticed that
Yeah.
a couple times I checked YouTube. I was like, why am I getting suggested videos of turtles eating stuff?
I used to do the same thing. We had a guy who would buy all my broken mowers, the ones that I thought was too far to fix and sell. He would come and buy like whole trailer loads, and but I don't have no one here since I moved. Kim, I haven't seen you on the website. I haven't seen you over on onlytortoises.com. Y'all think I'm kidding, but there's an actual website. True that, Bocce. True that. we're gonna come out with only tortoises merch. So everything I'm trying to start posting when I do the post and everything on the website. I'm trying to make it like provocative, I guess, like tortoise bath time, speedy bath time, or something like that. So it don't sound right. It just sounds because it's pretty much a knockoff version of OnlyFans, but only for tortoises. And this is what happens when it's rainy and there's not waiting in the park and there's nothing to do. You just sit in front of your computer doing stupid stuff. Oh, let me shine my light, make sure those dogs didn't get out. I have a problem with my Rottweiler puppies breaking out. See one. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna have to go check. I can't see them. I don't want them to get out and do something stupid.
Okay, everyone, talk to me. Let's all talk bad about Brandon while he's gone. Hope you all are having a good weekend. Get some projects done. Anyone working on anything cool? I did have a good day today, Mudster. Thank you very much. Getting ready to move that big drill off the trailer tomorrow. And then figuring out how to get it into a shop door that's a 1.5 feet shorter than it is. We don't worry about stuff like that when we buy it.
Dirtfoot asked how many tons of steel have you moved lately?
Oh, the combined weight, it's 16.
Hi, Ed.
The combined weight of the stuff in my shop is approaching 60,000 pounds. It gets crazy what you consider small and light when you move machinery. That new drill I got crossed the scales at, I think, 9,200 pounds.
Oh, I forgot the other Ed was still in here. I gotta clean up. I was talking to Ken earlier. I gotta clean up the top of my tool cart and the top of my toolbox. I don't know about y'all, but top of tool carts and top of toolboxes become a catch-all after a while. So now you gotta go through and clean up.
The top of my toolbox is a great mountain of stuff.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that go-kart I got, I might fix for the YouTube channel, and then I might take it, sell it, and buy something else for the YouTube channel. So I can always have projects for the YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'll ride it around for a month or so, have fun on it, and then I'll sell it. Oh, you know what, Ed? I used to know somebody that used to do that. Get the goat out of the circuit boards. There's quite a process to that.
Okay, talking about old computer stuff. I have a machinist buddy that has a bunch of little side jobs he does.
Mm-hmm.
he buys old computers for like the tower computers, like a desktop,
Yeah.
for 10-20 bucks. I guess there's a big demand on eBay for vintage, you know,
Night games.
processors and all the nonsense that's inside them that makes them work.
Yeah.
And he's making like $1,500 a month just on eBay selling old processors and motherboards and stuff.
That's crazy.
Because they sometimes show up at the scrapyard in huge pallets with,
Yeah.
40 or 50 of them.
Yeah, I thought about that one time, but I'm always too busy to strip stuff down.
Yeah,
That takes a lot of time.
it does.
Me, when I scrap, I do scrap, but I scrap mostly my own stuff because, you get a lot of stuff doing this kind of business. And scrappers got at one time wanted to try to charge people to haul scrap. So it was like this one guy wanted me to pay him, wanted me to load it for him. I'm like, no, I'll just load it myself and I'll take it to the scrapyard and I'll make money off of it and not pay you anything. And that usually
Yeah.
buys me that's usually gas money and lunch.
Yeah, I took a load the other day. I think they're paying about 5 cents a pound here.
Is that Jimmy Duresta dancing? I met him. I met him at the Good Old Land Fest. So I ain't happy with the scrapyards here. I feel like they screwed us over the last time we went. Like they're giving us pretty good rate on our regular scrap iron, but like our precious metals, they're really screwing us over. This scrapyard here is really screwing us over on precious metals.
Hi, Nancy.
So I'm not too happy about that. I used to separate everything out, but if they're gonna what they're trying to give me for it, I don't know.
My scrapyard's pretty good. The price going out of the yard now is 30 cents a pound, which is high.
Yeah.
I got that milling machine out of there. That I was hoping I could get it for 20 cents a pound, but they weren't having it.
You know what? I don't know how many of y'all remember him pre YouTube. I remember watching him on TV pre YouTube. Him and his brother had a show. They was downtown New York City, and they had a shop in a basement. I bet you there's not many people knows him pre YouTube, like watching him. I remember watching him pre YouTube. All right, Bachi. Yeah, the old scrapyard in Killeen did us good. We went there for years and years and years. There was one in Temple did us pretty good. I would go up there and help raise scrap, and then we split the money. We would split the cash, and Ray always had like big things. Like we was taking broken hay balers that he got at auction that just wasn't worth fixing to the scrapyard, and that was some weights. So when we go to the scrapyard, then it was like $500, $600, $700 at a time at least. The only bad part is one scrapyard, the one in Temple, I think, has some really cool stuff in the scrap pile, but they would not sell. They had some really, really cool looking stuff in there. They just wouldn't sell.
Yeah, we have one here that doesn't sell anything out of the yard.
Yeah.
He loads it on barges as soon as it comes in.
Well, he said it's because he already has somebody that comes in and buys anything like what we was looking for.
Yeah, they have the same thing here at the one I go to mainly. Like, there's a huge lawn. They take out all the lawnmowers and set them aside.
Yeah.
There's one day a week where they let this group of guys go in a half hour before they open.
and kind of go through, and they always take like all the carburetors off everything and stuff like that.
Man, Danson, my shorts did pretty good today. I had one that got 2,000, one that got 1,000. Yeah, it was pretty interesting meeting him. I met him, the guy from Hand Tool Rescue, the other guy, Blacksmith Tools, the other guy that I did a podcast with. A lot of the machinist community I met at that festival. Ray's Garage, Do Right Fabrications. There's a whole list of people I got to meet at that festival. Wow, Danson, that's a good deal. Even though you have to go a few hundred miles away, but I mean, if the deal is good, if it's something really really good, it's probably worth the drive a couple hundred miles away.
Yeah. There's a lathe at the one I go to right now. It's been there for a couple weeks, and I keep hemming and hawing about it because I want the drive off it and I want the chuck off it.
Yeah.
I don't want the lathe itself, but
I'm in the market for another lathe. As soon as I get that, I asked Justin. He's going to come by here sooner or later and take a look. I got to figure out the drainage issue because that drainage is the way that this property is. All that water is flooding the shop. It's flooding one side of the shop. It's standing in water. So there's no point in building in that side over there until I can figure out the drainage issues to keep it from flooding. I might have to build like a big drainage ditch and maybe try to redirect the water somewhere else.
dig a ditch, fill it with round rock and fabric,
Yeah. Dang, Dan, can you drive a few hundred miles to a storage? That video Danson posted the other day, that was some sketchy stuff the way they had those cars loaded. They had two cars in the back of a dump trailer stacked on top of each other to go to the scrapyard. Well, that's some sketchy stuff right there. Now that's some liability issues. What's up, Antonio?
Hey, Antonio.
I got some I got a tractor repair coming up soon. Well, not tractor, not actually repair, but it's oil change, filter changes, stuff like that. That's going to be at the guy's property. I don't know how I'm going to bill him for that one because it is a service call.
Oh, film it, you mean? Yeah.
No, I don't know how I'm going to bill him because it is a service call.
Bill mileage, or like what I do, I bill as soon as I leave my door. I don't bill mileage, but as soon as I exit the door on the way there, I start billing. And then once the job's finished, bill till you get back to your shop.
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do something like that. I know it's going to pay good either way because it's a tractor, and even just doing a service on a tractor is a little bit more. Hey, Tarek, is there a way to redirect that water flow into that well? Remember I had that well here? Is there a way to redirect that water flow into that well?
Is the well open or sealed?
Well, it's open to a point. It's got a big concrete culvert, and they just have a concrete thing on top of it that you can just raise up.
Be very careful what water you put back into an aquifer.
Yeah,
Is all I
true
can
that.
say.
Yeah,
That
true
can
that.
open a can of worms you do not want open.
True that. Okay, yeah, that's true that. Because you technically don't own the. Yeah, I know. We actually thought about filling it in, but because we looked at the legality of that. But then we decided, well, we can just test the water, and if it ain't too toxic, because well, we're worried about being so close to these oil pumps. These oil pumps is like all close to our property that the water might not be that good of quality. But if it is, if it's okay quality, then we can use it for garden and animals.
Yeah.
Not house water, but garden and animals. So, because I have a feeling it's sulfur water, because you can smell sulfur in the summertime. So I have a feeling it's sulfur water. But they did this property. So I learned this from working with Justin. You're supposed to build up a property when building a house. Well, instead they just cut into the hill and built it there. So you got drainage issues that way because they didn't build the property up. They built it. They just cut into it. And the house is at the lower end of the hill. It's a good idea, Tarek. I'm gonna probably try doing something like that. I gotta do something. Water. Oh God, Bocce. It's oil. I'll say it the way I want to. True that, my Codge. I mean, it's still not a. Yeah, they built into the hill and not above it. They didn't. They didn't level like this. One property I was helping Justin on, we actually took loads and loads of clay and built the pad up. It took forever. One pad took forever to make. These people dug the hill up out. But I still love this place. This place is still great. I love the area. My mom don't like it here. I don't know why, but I like it here. My family other family likes it here. I have a feeling I'm about to see a pickup on Etsy order soon with spring just right around the corner. So I have a feeling a lot of those mower tools will start selling again soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Tarek, the inspectors they missed out a lot, and the appraisal people they missed out a lot. Like nobody noted. We didn't know about this well on this property until we moved in. Actually, like 2 or 3 months after we moved in, we saw this concrete pad and was like, "What's this concrete pad right here?" And for some reason, we decided to lift up the concrete pad. And what do you know? There's a giant well. I'm sure she'll move right in there with you, Bati, too. Don't tempt her. Oh yeah, I saw that you. I saw that you posted earlier, Tonio. I started late. I was eating. I hate to eat on camera. Um, yeah, it was. The roof. Let's talk about that roof. I mean, there's like we finally had a roof guy look at it. There's like 4 layers of shingles, and it's causing the weight of all the shingles is starting to cause part of the house roof to start bowing in a little bit. It's not leaking yet, but it's starting to slightly bow. Um, it's been something. So we'll eventually have to roof the house. There's no way around there.
Yeah.
But the guy told us. The guy told us. The guy told us. The roofing guy told us that that he quoted us as the probably cheapest rate around here. But he said with all those shingles, it's still going to be the least $8,000. With him even cutting us a price break, it's going to be about $8,000. And he said really the most of the cost is from removing all the shingles and getting rid of them. He said that many layers is going to be time consuming.
Oh yeah.
And there was some things that was supposed to be repaired when we got here. Like there was an open junction box up in the crawl space, and it didn't get repaired when we got here. I mean, go to Lowe's and get a plate. It ain't gonna be that hard. It wasn't that hard to replace, fix, but still.
See here, the loan I got for my house, I got one of those first time home buyers loans.
Yeah.
They were very, very meticulous and stuff about it, thankfully. What's cool is that the shop I'm in right now, which is attached to my house, has a brand new metal roof, and the warranty actually transferred over to me when I bought it.
You know what, Tarek? That's a good idea. I should ask him if we stripped it because it wouldn't. I don't think it'd be that difficult to strip a roof with shingles. I've done some worse stuff. If we did it, how much it would be just to do the roof. Yeah, this was. They bought this house. My brother-in-law, and my sister bought this house through the VA, and they was pretty picky too. But the inspector kind of lied a lot. But they messed up. The inspector messed up. He was supposed to be there like 2 weeks before, and only showed up. He only showed up a day before, close to closing time. And so they pretty much just pushed it through just because he messed up. You know what, Danson? I was talking to my sister. Right now, if a person has the cash to buy properties, this is probably the perfect time to buy properties because the properties are starting to like dip down in price.
Oh, not here.
But the interest rate's going up, so it's a good time if you're a cash buyer, but a bad time if you're buying like through mortgage. They are here, not in certain areas like down towards Killeen, but that's because all the people from California. But here, there's several acres. Like I could buy another 2 acres, 3 acres here for under under 10 grand if I had cash. Just buying cash properties. If you had cash, you could buy 2 or 3 acres just blank acreage.
Oh, land is crazy high here. Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, they're ripping out all the farms and putting in housing developments.
That's the problem they have in Central Texas. Like 50-acre property over there. Later, Mike. 50-acre property back in Killeen was going for over $1 million just to be used for housing development. So property my nephew has this theory. My nephew's all about investing. And his is as soon as he gets done with trade school and gets a job and gets some money flow, he wants to buy some land and open up an RV park. Because RV parks is big in this area. You got all these oil workers that come in here to work. So you got these fancy RV parks. Oh, that's a good idea, Danton. See, Danton has good ideas, but I guess that's because he's been doing it a long time. But that's my nephew's idea. That's what he wants to do as soon as he can get a job and start building. Get a job out of trade school and start building his credit stuff. He wants to start buying property up. He wants to invest all his money into buying properties. He's a very smart kid. He researches everything. Yeah, I think the RV spots around here is like $500 to $600. Like some of the RV spots around here, you can rent houses, but
yeah, here the expensive part is getting the permit for the RV dump sites.
Yeah. I want some containers too, but I want some containers to build. Roger's Fix-It Barn, he ain't in here tonight, but his little machine shop on the side of his barn is made out of the container. He's got one of the shipping containers, and that's where his lathe and mill and all that stuff's in. I thought that would be a good idea for here, just to get a container and make it into a little mini machine shop.
Those used to be really cheap around here, and then all the cities started passing ordinances where you can't have them.
Really?
Yep. For a while, they would let you have them if you painted them the same color as your house and did a bunch of nonsense. But now they just don't let you have them.
I think it's several $1,000s for one here now. That's my thing is because I'm going to build a bigger shop on this property, or maybe even get another property later on the road. Is I want to, when I build the shop, I'm just going to build. It's just me. I'm just going to build a little apartment inside the shop. I'd be okay with just a little apartment inside my shop. Hell, put a bed in the corner of the shop. I'd be okay. I'll sleep out there with all my tools and stuff. I don't care. As long as I have a kitchen and a bathroom, I'll be okay. A small kitchen and a bathroom. Yeah, there is a lot of rules and regulations, Ed, but if you do your research, you can do it pretty good.
Yeah, sometimes here, like when you have a mobile home park or trailer park, they make you take over and have like your own the water system becomes kind of your own once it leaves the purveyor.
Yeah.
And that gets real technical. My day job's in the drinking water business, so I know
all
the nonsense that goes along with it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not nonsense, but you know.
I gotta look into. So we're putting a trailer on this other side of the property for my brother-in-law. Long story. Um, I got to run. I got to help him run water lines. I told him he wants to put it all the way in the back of the property, but I told him the further back you go on the property, the more expensive it is going to be to run water lines and power lines. The further you go back, so if you can get it somewhat closer to the road, you'd be okay. I mean, we live on a road where there's not a lot of traffic anyway, and it's all trees and stuff. So he would still have plenty of privacy.
Yep, that's true, Tarek.
You know what, Mudster? I thought about that too. I've actually thought about looking for a RV right now because I could. My shop electric is probably strong enough to run minimum power to a RV for like lights and a TV and something. Like I can come in the house and cook. I have to cook for the kids anyway. My neighbor has a completely restored one of the original Winnebagos down the road here. It's pretty nice. Kind of looks like the Tonka Winnebago that I have up on my wall. That's my dad's when he was a kid. Looks just like it, the real life version of it. We was gonna put an RV here for my mom and let my mom move in here, but she don't want to move in here. She wants to stay in her own house. I think, Tarek, we're gonna have to run a whole new meter, pay the city, and put a whole new meter in for this, for the other. I don't even know where all the water lines run for this property. I don't even know out here if they even kept any records of that kind of stuff. I'm finding random water lines that's busted in the backyard. I'm guessing that was from the well. But why was they buried so shallow? Like they're coming above the ground. Why was they buried so shallow?
What's the freeze depth there?
I mean, they don't really freeze. You can safely bury things at 18 inches and you'd be okay.
Hey, Raging.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be. You're right. I wouldn't be using it at the same time anyway.
Yeah, here, Tarek, they won't let you punch in a new well unless you have 5 acres.
What's up, Raging? So I'm thinking about it. That way that my nephews are getting older. My one nephew could take this room and he can have his own room. Because one's 16 and one's 13 and they share a room. And the 16-year-old one is a very OCD clean freak. So my other nephew has to walk on eggshells. Like he can't do nothing in that room. Like my nephew, every day, the first thing he wakes up and does is vacuum his carpet. He is very clean freak. OCD, like he freaks out. A speck of dirt, he freaks out. Almost like Bocce. He's the, I guess he's the male version of Bocce. If I go in there one day and he starts crocheting, we know.
How many acres are you on, Brandon?
2.5.
Oh, okay.
We're hoping to work a deal out with the neighbor because he's getting older and retiring. To eventually buy another couple acres he has next to us.
Hmm.
We're gonna see how that goes. Really, Rose? That dog's over there snoring.
Have you, since you've been there, have you met all your neighbors and they're all seem pretty reasonable people?
Um, there's one neighbors that live like right there that like every time we walk by, because we take walks sometimes on nice evenings. They shut the door. They run and shut the door like they're scared of us. I don't know. We look like a bunch of rough people that's gonna rob them. We met the vet. At first, he was off standoffish over us, probably because of damn hogs. But now we're cool with him. We every time his animals get up out while he's gone, we put them up for him. The guy that boards the horse across the road, we're really cool with him. He gives us hay. Um, and then that guy's friend who comes to feed the horse sometimes is the cattle rancher. And I've been doing a lot of work. He's the one I've been doing a lot of work for. Later, ACM. Cancer. So yeah, we're getting to know our neighbors, and there's a lot of people in Northeast Texas, this small town community. Everybody likes to help each other here a lot. I finally concreted in the hole where I cut the hole out of the sidewalk. I finally concreted that in today. I mean, the electric's only been done for what, a month now, maybe? And I mean, we probably are some rough ones. We get loud. We're loud people. We like loud toys. We like mini bikes, go karts, four wheelers, side by sides. We like our pew pews. We like blowing shit up with our pew pews. I mean, we're rednecks. We're your typical Mountain Dew drinking rednecks. Straight up, I guess you could say. You probably would, Foxy. We just have fun. We love life. We have.
I'm on good terms with all my neighbors, which is cool because, I live on a quarter of an acre residential lot, and the stuff that I have sitting in my driveway and bring in here is pretty out of the ordinary for a residential area.
Your shop must take up most of your yard.
Yeah,
Quarter acre.
my house is only technically 800 square feet. It's 2 bedrooms and 1 bath, but the garage is finished, so it's like another room. And my shop is physically attached to it, and it's 1,200 square feet. And it's the only shop like that in this area. I have very, very little yard, which I'm happy for.
Yeah, I guess when you have to mow, you just take a weed eater and knock it all down.
Yeah, the place I had before this, I had about 3 acres, and I'm done mowing lawns and stuff like that.
You know,
I actually want to pour a big pad in my backyard and put it all concrete so I can store machines out there.
I hate to admit it, but we never keep grass because between go-karts, mini bikes, four-wheelers, animals, we don't keep much grass. I mean, I was testing the truck the other day, and somehow I did a donut in the front yard. I don't know how, but hey, Mudster, I'm a hillbilly. You know, my roots go back to Eastern Kentucky. I guess I could become, since I've been here 20 years, I could be say I'm a Texas hillbilly now.
One thing I do is I always fix all my neighbors' stuff for free.
Yeah.
You know, tolerate a little bit more of what's out there.
See, I have 2.5, but there's probably a good chunk of it that's trees, wooded area. And we got a trail cut through there that we ride back through there. And we also ride up and down the roads. It's a country road. Nobody says anything to us running up and down this country road.
Mm.
The sheriff comes by every now and then. You see him drive by, but they never say anything. Because they know it's a country road in northeast Texas. You see side-by-sides on the road here. Side-by-sides ain't legal on the road in Texas. They're trying to make it legal in Texas. Because there's some states, if you put headlights and turn signals on them and brake, all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
they're registered.
They're all over here.
Yeah, Texas is one of those states you can't do it.
Now the rest of the houses around me are like 2 houses down. Starts a nice HOA area and all that and stuff. So there's all these fancy to-do places, and there's up and down the street. There's 3 or 4 people that have side-by-sides that run them down to the store every day.
See, they should make them legal. They're just, they got those striker cars that's legal, or whatever, those 3-wheelers. We have those. We have those one trike things, the front wheels. Those are just as those look just as dangerous as anything else. Yeah, I've seen that. Let me put the link. I don't know why I keep putting the link in there. I'll put that link back in there. I like cutting grass too. I just don't like. I don't like weeding. I like mowing grass, cutting grass with a riding mower zero turn. I just don't like weeding. So I just move stuff around where I don't have to barely weed eat. I just move it around, mow, and then put it back.
In my old place, everywhere I couldn't hit the mower, I sprayed and killed.
Yeah. See, look, they're legal everywhere but Texas. I don't know why Texas won't let them become legal.
Come on.
I mean, you go to.
Come on. Come on.
You go to Florida, and you don't know what kind of stuff you're going to see on the road there. You see some weird stuff on the road.
Now I'm only about a quarter mile from my gas station I go to all the time. If you have like one of those triangles behind something, they'll let you drive pretty much anything. I've driven my forklift to the store before.
Yeah. I mean, Texas has a law that on tractors like anything, even push mower or even push mower, even ride mowers in Texas. If you go by the law, I mean, an officer can try to say different. If you go by the law, even a riding mower in Texas is considered a tractor. So as long as you put a triangle on it, you can ride that riding mower to the store. Would I want to? That would be a no, because I would not want to get out on the highway on a riding mower. Well, that's the same here, Terry. Nobody, these cops around here don't care. They was riding side by side through the neighborhoods with the kids on them to trick or treat, and there was like 4 or 5 cops in that neighborhood where we was trick or treating at.
The biggest thing I would say around here is as long as you're not being a nuisance with what you're driving up and down the road, you know.
Now, if I was going back towards Longview later, Polar Bear, if I was going back through towards Longview and White Oak, those cops start getting a little bit more stricter over that way. I guess they got to make their quota. Longview is a huge city. Longview is actually a very huge city. We got in Longview. If you go into Longview, there is 3 super WalMarts, super center WalMarts. That's where we have to go to the stores. We have to go back towards Longview. It's about 20 minutes to go to the grocery store here. Well,
Did you get your your shop door reinforced any?
no, I still ain't picked up that new blade for the saw. I need to. I think I've mentioned. I don't know if I mentioned this last week, but I decided I was going to go ahead and I thought about going ahead and selling off that farm off hub because it really is not really. I don't know if I'm going to do much gardens. I need a tractor, but I need a tractor with a 3-point.
Yeah.
And something a little bit bigger than that Kubota had. But I thought about going ahead and selling it off and using it to buy a bandsaw and a 2-stage air compressor because I need a 2-stage air compressor for doing tires and stuff.
Hmm.
Tarek, the most car crashes that happen around here is right off the highway. For some reason, I guess they need to hire new people to work there. The ambulance company, because it's a private ambulance company here in this small town. It ain't through the city or county or anything. And for some reason, they're constantly crashing. I hope I don't ever have to call an ambulance for anything. Because I might end up more hurt than what I was going in. See, a 30 horse is probably more what I need. I want something powerful enough to run a post toe digger too, because I want a post toe digger. I got a lot of fencing to do here eventually. Like our property out front is not fenced in at all. So when we let the little dogs out to use the bathroom, they can run into the road. And then like tonight when my Rottweiler puppy got out, he was just standing down by the road while we pulled in, waiting for me to let him in the house. So I started putting him in a cage. I wish the shop was bigger. I just started putting him in a cage in the shop and closing the door. If he wouldn't tear stuff up, I'd just let him run free in there. But I couldn't trust him not to chew half the shop up. He's a year old, but he's ain't out of that puppy stage yet. I come out there and he had to hold down the metal chewed off the side of the building or something. That's a good question. Speaking of air compressor, should a separator filter be installed before the regulator or after?
Mine's a pretty stout unit, so mine's before.
I'm thinking about eventually getting like the electric dryer thing that you hook onto them.
I think my separator dryer is rated for 200 psi.
Yeah.
So it's before my regulator.
Tarek, I also want one to I buy round bells because it's cheaper to feed round bells. So it'd be nice. It'd be nicer to. It'd be nicer to be able to have to not manhandle a big round bell off the back of a trailer onto a pallet. So I got many of things and like unloading equipment like welders and stuff off of people's trucks and stuff. And I don't have the crane no more, which I probably should buy a crane because it can probably be a long time before I buy a tractor with a front end loader. But yeah, I'm really thinking about a dryer before I buy a. I want one of these days. I'll probably get a nice plasma cutter, but I think if you're going to put a lot of money into a plasma cutter, you might want to have a dryer on your air system. I'm telling you, Bocce, you know what? I have a wish list on Amazon. For some reason, at one time, everybody was making wish lists on Amazon. I didn't even bother posting it no more. Like, it really don't really do anything.
I actually keep the drain on my compressor very, very slightly cracked, and I've never had a moisture issue.
So it just like slightly leak out when it runs.
Yep, just very slightly.
That's a good idea.
I'm one of those people who has seen a compressor blow up in a shop, so I tread carefully around my compressor.
I had a gas powered one, and it looked like it was built from the '60s, and I got rid of it because it was sketchy. Like the regulator part didn't work. Hold on. The regulator part didn't work, and the air hose blew up. It got so much pressure that the air hose blew up. Hacker, come on. Buddy, stop. You're a little dog and he's a big dog. So the air hose blew up. The tank didn't blow up. The air hose blew up while I was doing something. And it sounded like a gunshot close by, and it scared the crap out of me. But so eventually, all this stuff I want though, I think I'm gonna eventually just need a bigger shop. All this stuff I want it.
That's how it goes.
But maybe I thought about if tin wasn't so expensive. I thought about because oil pipe's cheap here in this in this town where cause and there's a lot of the shops around here just made out of oil pipe as like the standard pipe, their structure pipes. For
Yeah.
structure. I thought about just getting a whole big bunch of oil pipes and just a little at a time start cleaning out the spot, leveling it, and start as I can afford it, start building it in a little at a time to extend the shop out.
Yeah.
I want to start, like I said, with that lean-to. That I got the stuff right now to do the lean-to. What's up, Theo?
Hey, Theo.
A neighbor did a tear down. His construction company did a tear down of a metal shop, and he saved us a lot of good C channel and tin, which tin's like the most expensive part right now to buy.
Yeah.
So, and another neighbor that we do a lot of work for is going to bring me his welder. And he said we can keep it here, and he just come and get it when he needs it. If as long as I would teach him how to use it, a gas powered arc welder. And if he brings that, then I can just start welding that stuff up. But that's where the bandsaw will be handy because I think it would be easier to chop that C channel up with the bandsaw than it would be. It takes forever with a chop saw to cut that stuff.
Yeah. In my opinion, bandsaws are far superior to chop saws.
Yeah. So I don't know if I want to go with the Harbor Freight one or the Northern Tools ones. I don't know which one's better. They'll both look the same to me.
Are those both? They're rated at like 6 by something.
Yeah.
They're probably the exact same unit. That same one, Dayton makes one. Granger makes one. They're all pretty much the exact same unit.
The Northern Toll ones advertise that you can get that you can actually get like a table or build a table for it, so you can leave it set up in the up position and just have a table where if you want to cut like small stuff.
Yeah, and people do that. I've seen the things where they sit on it and they're cutting stuff and
yeah. Then again, that's what a plasma cutter is for also, and I got a plasma cutter. It's probably less cleanup though with the bandsaw.
Oh yeah, and you can run
a plasma cutter
coolant.
would clean.
You can run coolant with it if you want to too.
Yep.
The thing I like about them is there's no dust.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about you. I've been in situations where I've grind it and cut all day long, and you go in and you blow your nose or something, just pure black from all the dust that you're breathing from grinding all day long.
It's just there's enough, lathe ways and precision surfaces here. I don't want dust everywhere.
I was watching a video earlier of them machining titanium and how it catches on fire. You gotta be very careful because the shavings catch on fire.
That's same with magnesium.
Really?
Yeah, and you don't put it out with water. You have to make sure you have sand on hand.
Oh.
Or probably a modern fire extinguisher will get it too. So you got to use really sharp tools when you're machining magnesium.
Yeah. I saw that too, Theo, and it reminded me of my buddy Ray. We went to all the parts stores. I think it was Advanced Auto or AutoZone when they was having those sales on all that stuff, and we hit every one of them in Central Texas. He was buying them up, and he buying up all those parts, and he has a whole shop full of those parts now. And hoping I forgot to get RTV today. I got to put a little bit of RTV on that side by side valve cover. I put a new O-ring in there, or the new gasket, but it still has a slight small leak. So I think I'm gonna put just a stick. I talked about it last week. Make it a little sticky with some RTV, and that should fix it up. To me, I don't think the new gasket is as thick as original. Comparing it. Yeah, Tarek, I was at the festival. Do Right Fabrication. He's also a firefighter, and he was telling a story about my magnesium bumpers on some of those old German cars, and how it was a firefighter's nightmare because they could explode very easily. It was and you couldn't put them out like a normal car fire. So he said it was firefighters' nightmare to do one of those cars. I guess you can't cool it down like really really fast or it explodes or something like that. I don't know how that works. I've never messed with magnesium or titanium. A little bit of aluminum, a little bit of steel. I haven't even played with some stainless steel yet because I don't have a TIG welder.
I have stainless come through quite a bit for shafting.
Oh yeah, yeah. With the whole with the hydraulics, that you do, it would be
Yeah.
stainless.
A lot of the hydraulic stuff is either turned, ground, and polished rod or a chromed rod.
So I have an interesting question I was going to ask you. I don't have a lathe no more, but I stripped the threads on a axle for an old 4-wheeler my nephew's, and I was wondering how would one do that if they did have a lathe? Would would they maybe like take like a MIG welder and like maybe weld like several beads and then like take it back down to the sides and then rethread it, or
You can weld is very hard,
yeah, I
and it's
remember trying
a
to.
pain in the ass to thread sometimes, especially
Yeah.
a lot of the times on stuff like that when thread stuff's damaged, we'll actually cut it off, drill into it, and make a stub shaft,
Oh, okay.
and
That makes
weld in a
sense.
stub shaft and thread the stub shaft.
Have you? I saw that one. Didn't you a while back get a spray welder? Have you got to play around with it yet?
I was actually looking at it the other day, but I haven't got a chance to mess around with it yet.
I know A Bomb was used to do a lot of videos doing a lot of spray welding repair jobs.
Yeah, he used to do a lot of videos where he did stuff. Now he just opens boxes.
Right? That
Yeah.
seems like once you get to a certain point on YouTube, I guess that's all you do is open boxes. But let's face it, that was for some reason videos like that, those unboxing videos, as boring as stupid as they are, gets lots of views and it makes no darn sense. I don't know the whole thing with how YouTube works on that part. It makes no
Yeah.
sense. Because it's boring. Unboxing videos are just plain boring. But people like them, obviously, I guess. I don't know. Or YouTube likes them. Like, I can do a video right now and mention Snap-on or Harbor Freight and instantly get 1,000 views. It's just how YouTube works. I did a 20-second short earlier and got a 1.5K views just talking about my go-to ratchet is a Snap-on 1/4 inch. You know what? That's where you're right. You could like put a bushing and then try to turn it down, put a bushing, and then I mean I'm sure there's many ways to skin a rabbit on that.
Yeah, you could do that. It won't you want a pretty thick walled bushing to do that on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the way to do it. There are
I don't
many,
even know
many
how I'm
ways.
gonna fix it at this point. I might try to thread it down one side and just get another nut. At this point, try to find a way I can get it down a little bit lower, and then just Because I don't have a lathe no more. Of course, my lathe wouldn't have been big enough for that anyway. And then just maybe go down the size on the nut. I don't know. I'm trying to find a hoe. I'm trying to find a whole axle, a whole swing arm axle rear diff, because his rear diff's locked up on that. I took it apart, and it's just the bearings, and I can replace just the bearings. But if I can find a good diff with an axle and everything ready, then we just swap them out. But I don't know. I don't even know if this machine's worth it. Like I said, it's a 97. He paid $300 for it. He's already put $200 of parts in it, so he's got $500, and he needs more parts. And if he's lucky when he's finished with it, he might get $1,200 for it. Because it's an older Timberwolf 250, not a very sought after machine. So we'll see. And like I told him, sometimes with those deals, you don't win on everyone.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Loss. But the next one, you might hit big again.
Yeah, but every once in a while, you got to take it on one.
Yep. I'm sure, like, if he stopped at this point right now, he could probably find somebody that would give him, he could at least make his money back if he just wanted to stop at this point right now. I could probably find him a buyer that would, for him just to get his money back. Which is probably the smart thing to do, is just break even, get out from under it, go on to the next project. That's another thing I want to do once I get some money going. I want to go do some shopping and get some shop supplies to get ready for the springtime rush. I don't know how the springtime rush is going to go here because I'm just getting started real good, but I would like to be prepared for the springtime rush.
Yeah, I just had my Lawson rep guy come through a couple weeks ago and restocked all my bins.
Yeah.
Which was not cheap.
Yeah, I bet. I started going. I used to go to Tractor Supply a lot to buy boats and stuff, but Ace up the road here is a little bit higher, but it's about a 40-minute drive to go to Tractor Supply or a 5-minute drive to go to Ace Hardware. So, and Ace has like the odd sizes that you can't find elsewhere most of the time. They have a lot of odd sized boats.
I'm thankful I'm close to a couple industrial bolt supply places that are very, very cheap and it's good quality stuff.
Yeah, there's some here downtown, but downtown Longview again is like 45 minutes an hour away.
The thing that sucks is my main bearing and belt place closed this year.
Oh wow!
I got all my bearings and all my belts, and they were awesome and stuff was cheap but Motion Industries bought them, and it hasn't been the same place since.
I thought it was funny in Tyler, Texas. There's a Motion Industry across the street and a Purvis Industry across from them. So two competing bearing shops, right in front of each other. I didn't like Purvis since going to Temple. I thought those people was rude at the one in Temple, and they would not help me. They wouldn't listen to my sizes. And they never could find me the right bearing that I needed, the right seals I needed, because they wouldn't listen. Because their sizes, they wanted to go by their measurements, and they wouldn't go by my measurements. I looked it online and found what I needed online, but
a lot of places like that, they don't want you to go in with dimensions. They want numbers.
Yeah.
They want trade numbers and industrial numbers and stuff like that.
But you know what I know on some of these older machines, it's hard to and when they're wore out, sometimes they're wore out past that, seeing the numbers on the bearings and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's how my hydraulic place is. They're really cool if you go in there and you have like a number off the barrel for the rebuild kits and all that. But it'd take like 3 or 4 random seals in because the seals are so cheap. A lot of the seals are like $2 or $3. When they have to measure them and dig through the books and stuff, it takes them, 10 minutes a seal, and they're only selling the $2 seal for that time.
Yep.
So they get real uppity about it. So what I usually do then is I drop them off and say, hey, I'll be back in a day or two. And then
we're talking about metric boats. I need to get more metric stuff since I've been doing a lot more power sports stuff. And then let's face it, a lot of these modern mowers and stuff, there's more and more metric stuff these days than before. Seen a lot more metric stuff. I need more metric taps and dies too. I don't have a lot of metric taps and dies. But Theo's right though. Buying the brake clean and the PB blaster by the gallon and just have a spray bottle for it, so much cheaper. I haven't done it in a while. I think they rip you off on PB blaster and WD-40 anyway. You get this big old can and it feels like there's not a lot in those cans.
Yeah, I don't buy hardly any penetrating oil and stuff. In the work I do, there's no time for it.
Yeah. You just pull up the torch and heat it up.
It goes straight to heat.
I buy the brake cleaner from Marks and I use that. Oh man, people are gonna probably give me crap for this, but I use the Walmart brake cleaner, which is mostly like acetone in it anyway, I believe, as card cleaner. That's my go-to card cleaner. I throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner, or I'll spray it with the brake cleaner, throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner, blow it out with the air gun, and then quick spray with the brake cleaner again to make sure there ain't no soap residue in there, and put the carburetor back together.
In my ultrasonic cleaner and my parts washer, I use that bright yellow stuff that Harbor Freight sells.
Really?
And I think it works really well. I only cut it about 50% with water, as much as they say. I think they say 1 gallon of cleaner for 12 gallons of water.
Yeah, I need a parts cleaner.
2 gallons of it.
Well, Steve, I'm trying to get it open. I guess you gotta be smarter than it.
I got lucky. You. Okay, that's good. I'll open the rest of it.
Okay, you open the rest of it. Go. Yeah, so. And blue paper towels, man. I need some blue paper towels in my shop. I ain't had no shop towels in a while. They have their point.
Actually, for shop rags, there's a hose place I go to that makes hydraulic hoses.
Yeah.
And they sell bundled up old recycled T-shirts.
Yeah.
And you get like this huge bag of them for like $5. And I use those.
You know, it's a kind of a good idea.
It's cool. Like every once in a while, you'll get like a part of like a Def Leppard T-shirt or something in there.
Make sure you want to get it oily and just hang it up somewhere.
And then my shop rags, I used to keep them, and then I would take them to one of those laundry mats to do them.
Yeah.
Because some of them would get pretty bad with like metal shavings and stuff. But then I felt bad doing that, so I stopped doing that.
Yeah, it's kind of a good idea.
Because I generate a lot of metal shavings, so that gets in everything.
I've heard of some mechanics buying their an old junk washing machine so they don't have to use their house washing machine to wash work clothes and shop towels and stuff in.
Yeah. I actually, since my shop's attached to my house, I changed my shoes when I leave here because I was tired of tracking metal shavings into my carpet. And I walked in my carpet barefoot and stepped on a metal shaving.
Yeah, that don't feel good.
I need to build duck boards in front of all my lathes.
Yeah. Atwood's actually has good deals on regular shop rags, and I probably should just go to Atwood's and buy a bunch of shop rags. I mean, I could always go and I used to wash my clothes when it was too bad to go in the washer. I used to take a tub of water outside and just start washing them by hand and then hang them up. Because sometimes you just get clothes so bad that it's just too bad to go into the thing.
Yeah, I try not to use the rags either, but the metal just gets into everything, it seems. I use a lot of paint brushes and stuff.
Do you get those old chip brushes at Harbor Freight? They usually have good deals on them. You get like a whole big bunch of them for a little bit of nothing.
I just pick brushes up at yard sales.
Really?
I have probably out my shed. I have probably I think there's like 2 5-gallon buckets full because they're always essentially free.
Yeah.
So
That's a good
it's one of those things I pick up.
there.
And then at estate sales, I always get all the paper towels and stuff because that stuff's always free.
Yeah.
No one thinks to grab it. That I have so much. I have so many quarts of motor oil and stuff from estate sales that's on everyone's shelf in their garage, and no one buys it. I probably out my shed have 300 quarts of motor oil.
I left a lot behind in Ohio when I bought all that machinist stuff a while back, or a couple years ago when I went and bought all that stuff in Ohio. The guy gave me a bunch of brand new bottles and like the machining tools was more important to get back than all those bottles of oil, so I just gave them all to my uncle. We barely fit all the machining tools in there. It was a rough ride back to Texas.
And not so much the lathes, but the milling machines really throw chips everywhere.
Yeah.
They're always in your shirt and.
Yeah, definitely. If you wear a shirt with a pocket on them, you can guarantee you open up that pocket's full of chips and stuff. I always think of my grandpa when anytime I wear a shirt with a pocket on it, he always wore a shirt with a pocket on there so he had a place to hold his cigarettes.
Oh, yeah.
Get the cigarettes at.
Yeah, my store, I have one of those. I use around the shop.
I used to use one in front of the shop a lot where I was cutting metal and doing a lot of metal work to make sure I pick up any pieces and stuff before I brought in any equipment over there that I run the tires on. I need to get another one because we broke the wheels off of it during the move. I need to go pick up another one.
Then on Friday afternoons, because then the weekends I just do my own thing out here, I try to sweep up as much as I can.
Yeah. I gotta sweep up tomorrow in the shop. I accidentally busted open a bag of concrete. Quickcrete. That's gonna be fun cleaning up tomorrow.
I got to. The guy's coming to get that big horizontal mill next weekend, so I got to try clear enough space to get both the big drill I just bought in, and that drill and that mill past it and out. So I'm so tired of moving stuff, but I'm almost done. Almost done.
Yeah,
It's going to be a pain to get that drill in here. I'm not looking forward to that.
I bet.
I think if I take the top motor and the stuff off that raises the arm, it'll just fit through the door. If not, I have this plan where with my forklift, I have to tip it at like a 45-degree angle and strap and chain it to my forklift and drag it in on plastic and set it back up.
Just don't do like that one guy, that Will guy who went to and restored that power hammer, and then he went to move it and turned it over, and it just exploded everywhere. All that work he put into it destroyed his power hammer.
Oh, I'll be exceptionally careful with it.
I couldn't imagine putting all that work into, and those power hammers ain't cheap anyway. And then just dropping it and destroying it. Like the castings, when it hit the concrete, it shattered. All that castings, I guess, all that weight hitting that concrete that hard.
Oh, yeah, that stuff
Shattered.
just disintegrates if it takes any kind of impact. I keep another way to keep the chips under control. You know those bucket vacs that Home Depot sells?
Yeah.
I have one of those. I have one by each lathe and one for each mill right now. Those have really helped cut down on the mess in the shop. And for like the
I
$20 they work pretty good.
I used to wore out shop vac just for that by that little lathe when I was at the old shop.
As long as if you're using a lot of cutting oil and stuff, they obviously won't pick up the shavings through the cutting
Yeah.
oil. But they do a really good job for how cheap they are.
Yeah.
Have you looked at all for other lathes and stuff in your area?
Not yet. I'm trying to financially recover for all the stuff that just all went down. So I'm trying to get back to it. I'm trying to get the shop done. I've seen some lathes, but they're like way too big. Some of them was like the ones I'm seeing like you would haul on the back of a semi just to move it.
Oh.
I don't know where I would even put one of those.
That's the thing. You don't worry about where you're going to put it before you buy it. Just buy it and make it work.
I think
I
Stan
bought a
Barnes.
drill that won't fit into my shop door, but that didn't stop me from buying it.
I think that one. I think was it Bar Z Stan. He bought a lathe that was too big to go in his shop, so he just started building the shop around the lathe.
Yeah.
So that's always an option here.
Yeah.
I mean, they still got it on there as a big giant South Bend lathe. It's a big one. That's a big boy. But it's one of the big belt. It's one of those flat belt ones.
Oh, yeah. Those go. Sometimes you can't even give those away.
Yeah. There's a lot of mills in this area. There's this one mill that's been in here forever, but it's a giant mill, and he only wants $2,500 for it. I'm gonna present the screen real quick. It's a giant
If I
mill.
could get away with keeping that drill in the driveway with like a rain cover over it, I would do that.
It's a pretty good sized mill. Look at the table on that.
That's number 4.
It's huge. Man, I bet you that's fun to move.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of mills around here. I just ain't seen a little. I don't want a little lathe, but I want something bigger than what I had, but not like
A good
overkill.
lathe for you would be like a 14 by 40.
Yeah, exactly. Something that I could still put like an axle on and fix an axle if I ever had to.
Yeah.
But I haven't been able to. See, there's a lot of these big giant ones. It's just there's a lot of these are like this one's 3-phase too. It'd have to have a 3-phase converter.
Or VFD.
Yeah.
Up to 10 horsepower, you can get a VFD for $200.
Yeah, I saw that. There's a 13-inch South bend. It's a little. The bed ain't very long though.
No, and you pay a little extra for the South Bend name.
Yeah.
Just like you pay a little extra for a Bridgeport, which is nonsense. My Comet milling machine is a 100% exact copy of a Bridgeport.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies that made copies of the Bridgeports
Oh
over the
yeah,
years.
yeah.
There's a
Those
lot of
big
these.
flat belt lathes. They can do good work. They can take heavy cuts. Just a lot of people don't like them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them for sale. This one's only 32. It's a 10 by 32.
It almost looks like a Craftsman.
It kind of does. It looks like it's made
Is
by
that
Shelton.
Sheldon? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good maker.
Honestly, with what I paid for that little lathe, 2,000 might not be too bad if it's up and running and ready to go. Because I got tooling for that size lathe.
It is a big drill. It's I was actually looking for a drill one size smaller than it, but that one came up and I couldn't pass it up.
Here we go. 34 by 100. That's all the way up in Missouri. Road trip. That's a nice looking lathe. It's $4,500. So it's a nice looking lathe.
Yeah.
So there's lathes around here. I just got to get back to the point where I can buy a lathe and a mill. Because after I never used the lathe a lot other than when I needed it. It was that little bitty one was handy. But now that I don't have it, there's been a few times I'm like, damn, I wish I had my lathe right now.
Yeah.
Even the little one, I wish I had it at this very moment.
Theo, I'm actually thinking about me and a buddy going in on renting some industrial space.
You're going to need it.
Because I know where there's another huge milling machine. It's a Cincinnati number 5. It weighs about 16,000 pounds. I can get it for like $2,000 probably. That's the thing, when machines get really big, they get really cheap.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to move them.
What's up, Jungle Bob?
I mean, my big lathe in my shop, it's 16,000. It was enough that a big rollback wrecker could drop it off here.
Yeah.
But around here, there's not a lot of machine options. Like if I go to Craigslist, there's probably 1 or 2 lathes or 1 or 2 mills within 150 miles of here.
Man, I forgot about Craigslist. I could look up in the Dallas area because there's industrial parts of Dallas. I didn't even think looking at.
Yeah. it's crazy the things I think are light. Like that milling machine I got last weekend, was that's only 6,700 pounds. That'll be no problem getting through here. And it's weird, like my big lathe and that big drill I got, they look huge when you first get them. Then after you look at them for a week or so, you're like, oh, that's not really all that big.
Look, for $54,000, I could buy a CNC lathe. I think for something like that, there's so much stuff that can go wrong with those. I'd almost think if you're gonna buy a CNC anything like that, you're probably better off investing in a brand new one, and it's still going to cost a pretty penny. If someone was doing that kind of work.
Yeah, it's true, Theo. The moving, you can get some deals on some heavy stuff because of the weight of it.
Yep.
People think these things are impossible to move, or that's going to be $5,000 to move. It's really, if you look into logistics and you've done it before, it's really not all that bad. Like tomorrow, with no equipment, just chain come-alongs, that drill press weighs 9,200 pounds. I'll have it off that trailer in 15 minutes. Hopefully upright still, though.
Here's a Bridgeport mill for $3,500.
See, some parts of the country you can get a pretty decent Bridgeport for like $1,500.
Yeah, Ohio.
Here you're paying $1,500 just for the name tag on it.
If I had the money to go up in Ohio, the machines there are dirt cheap.
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, I got a buddy that lives up there, and he's always sending me all these deals he finds, and it's crazy.
Like, I would like to go back there. If I had the kind of money, I would go back there, bring machines back down here just to sell. Because some of the deals up there on that stuff.
Long ago, I used to go with a buddy over to the west side of the state where there's more of that stuff. We bring stuff back here and ship it and sell it. But yeah, and that's nothing compared to over there.
Yeah.
I mean, he sends me pictures all the times of lathes for like $400 and $500. And
there was a I'm trying to think what it was. There was a surface grinder for $100 while I was there in Ohio. I didn't know what I would need a surface grinder for. If I had a way to haul it back at $100, I would have bought it.
Oh yeah.
It was a Brown and Sharp.
Oh.
It was a smaller unit, but it was still pretty cool for $100. It was worth $100.
Yeah, so around here that'd be like an $1,100 machine.
Exactly. Same here in Texas. I'll put Dayton.
Those bench top round column mill drills you always see, those go for almost $1,000 here.
I just switched my marketplace to Dayton, Ohio.
To put that in perspective, my big LeBlanc lathe was only $1,200, and it's a 22-inch swing by 120-foot or 120-inch bed.
Here's a horizontal mill in Dayton, Ohio, $1,100.
I like a horizontal mill. I'm a big fan of the horizontal mill.
Those are good for creating gears and stuff, ain't they?
Yeah, they'll take heavier cuts without springing than most vertical mills.
It's
a lot
also
of people
good.
Don't like them. But
They could also be handy for like if you're like what I was talking about. Later, Theo. See you tomorrow.
Awesome for cutting keyways,
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Keyways and go-kart
cutting
axles.
spline shafts.
Yep. One of these days, there was a little version, the Atlas, that was it was the horizontal and the vertical all in one. And I've seen them before listed, the little ones, because for some reason, little machinery is expensive. I've seen them for like 2 or 3 thousand. This guy only wanted $1,000 for his, and it would probably been worth it because they're sell for so much more than the bigger machines a lot of the times.
Another thing too is because of YouTube.
Yeah,
Showing the machining stuff, the small machines, the value of them has almost doubled in the last couple of years.
I think the value of everything is doubling because looking at here on Ohio's prices on this stuff ain't much cheaper than here now. And at one time it was different. Yeah, they're not as cheap as it was like when I was there a couple of years ago and bought that stuff.
Yeah.
The prices ain't the same. Yeah, and it's almost like the stuff out of here. Things are just getting higher.
Yeah, and probably more people have gotten into buying them and flipping them.
Yeah. Mudster, I paid $600 for my itty bitty lathe, and I think I pretty much paid too much for it because it had the
what kind of mill, Mudster?
I think he said it was a Victor.
Oh yeah. Well, Victor rebrands stuff because Victor makes lathes too.
Yeah, I think he said it was a Bridgeport clone.
I paid $1,200 for my Bridgeport clone. It has the smaller table, and it had some issues, but nothing that was like major.
Yeah.
Table's in good shape.
It's just crazy just in the last few years how the prices on everything like that skyrocketing.
Oh yeah.
You used to be able to get some of that stuff affordable.
I still get quite a bit of stuff out of scrapyard.
I'm gonna find a mill one day and another lathe. It'll happen one of these days.
And a lot of it too, Munster, did it come with a lot of tooling? Because that's where the real money is when you buy machines. The machines can be the cheapest part of it. It's the tooling that is worth all the money. Especially if you're getting stuff like rotary tables and dividing heads and stuff like that. I mean, collets are cheap, but...
Well, guys, I think I'm gonna call it a night because I need to get up and do something in the morning. And I slept. I had bad sleeping earlier or last night. And I couldn't stay awake. I've been messed up all day. I just can't get a good workflow going because I couldn't sleep good last night. So I think I'm gonna call it here at 2 hours. I think we do pretty good at 2 hours streams because we're trying to do this every weekend now. So
yeah,
I think 2 hour streams is doing pretty good for us. So I guess I will see y'all next week, and mostly I'll see y'all at Theo's tomorrow, Country Mile Garage, because I always go there on Sundays because I like hanging out there with Theo. So anyway, guys, I will see y'all next time around. I gotta go. I gotta go take care of some animals, and I'll see y'all tomorrow and next week and whenever. Later, everyone. Thanks for joining.